Hello and welcome back to Break Panel Sports. Yes, it's Break Panel Sports. We're back. It's John joined
We're
alongside
back.
Joel. I have a new setting. If you hear a tad of echo, I apologize. I am still working on this moving process. I'm in a new place, new spot. All right, so it's a whole bunch of stuff. I had to
There was
take
no
some time.
episode because John was moving. That's
I was
basically
moving.
it.
Basically, yeah, we
That's
were we were
basically it.
trying to find a we were in making getting into our new place to live, which means I have to find a new place to record, which means all my equipment is in bags and boxes, but it's all out, it's all ready to go. So if you see any video from this, you know it's different. It's not really that. It's not going to affect anything else besides me having being busy last week, but we're back.
And as I've previously mentioned in a previous video, I tried to record an episode by myself.
Yes.
That didn't go too well because I kid you not, I tried saving the entire file, and for some reason it went away, and I was like, you know what, I'm never doing this again by myself. So I'm like, I'll just grind it out on TikTok. Make sure to follow our TikTok so you can see
Yep.
some content that I made during free agency. You could do that,
This is
but
Break Panel
that
Sports.
I mainly focused on the TikTok. So yeah, we didn't exact. That's basically the reason why I didn't upload anything as well.
We were on a TikTok grind. We were on a
Yeah,
TikTok grind covering the free agency moves and everything. We got some stuff done.
we got some stuff out there.
Yeah, it's out there. If you want to go back and take a look, you talked about some Justin Fields the other day,
Yeah.
which we'll get into later. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Saquon, your guy or your former guy, I
Yeah,
guess
not,
now
not not my guy right now.
your
No way.
former guy. But we're gonna start off, I guess, with the lighter move. Russell Wilson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is that smell? Is what a lot of people would say. What is going on? It's an interesting move because the Steelers they have Kenny Pickett, and I guess he is not that guy according to the Pittsburgh Steeler Nation, or he needs time to develop, whatever you want to call it. Mason Rudolph won them a few games last year, took them to the playoffs. They didn't really compete against Buffalo, but they said, you know what? Russell Wilson only costs about $1.5 million to go out and sign because Denver's going to pay the
Yeah.
entire contract. Why not take a chance on Russell Wilson, who I don't know if you're on this page, but to me, he's a future Hall of Famer if he retires
Oh, he
tomorrow.
is. Yeah, he
Uh,
100% is.
I do want to preface everything by saying I'm not disrespecting Russell. Almost said Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson's career. I don't think any of us really are by the past 3 years, right? Because just his Seahawks career alone, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He doesn't need to. He could retire. He's got the Super
Wh-
Bowl. He's made a lot of contributions also to Seattle. It's just been a great quarterback. So don't want to disrespect Russ, but do you expect anything out of him in Pittsburgh, out
Not
of this
really.
team,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Not really. I
especially
mean,
in this division?
when I'm looking at Russ, well, first of all, what do we even say now? Like Steeler Nation, let's weld. Like, what do we say now?
Let's weld. I heard let's weld.
let's weld.
We're
Is
not gonna
that the
say
thing?
let's steal is a crime. I don't know. I
Yeah,
really
because
don't know.
I saw that's one of the first. I don't know. That's just me and my dumb head. I'm like,
You know,
what? Like, I'm like, what? Wait, what do we say now? What's
right?
his catchphrase now? Oh my
My
god, this is so weird.
my favorite thing was somebody said he's gonna win some dumb primetime game and say Steele got it. That's what
Yeah,
he's gonna say. That's what he's
he's
gonna
gonna
say. He's gonna say
he's
Steele
gonna win
got it.
some random big game.
Right. It's gonna be like Broncos Raiders on a Monday night, or
the fi-
Steelers Raiders on a Monday night for no reason.
the final score is like 14-9,
Yeah,
and
one
it's
of
because
those games.
and literally like it had nothing to do with Russ. Like TJ Watt just went off, and
Yeah.
he just takes credit for it.
Russell Wilson will go 14 of 19 for 129 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, and be like, I am
Mr.
back, Steeler
Unlimited.
Nation, unlimited. What a guy. I mean, Russell Wilson.
But in all seriousness though, okay, I understand when you look at him on paper,
Yep.
right? When you look at the stats on paper, technically speaking, he didn't have like bad stats in Denver. Not really. I don't think his stats were like terrible.
I think they're
It's just
good.
they were kind of, to me at least, I thought they were kind of mediocre. They
Yep.
were kind from what you were expecting to get out of
That's true.
Russ.
That's true.
That's what I was looking at, right? So I can understand why Denver was saying that they wanted to move on. However, it's now officially the biggest cap hit in like NFL history now. Like it's like so like you want to cut him, okay, fine, but like now you're paying the price for it, which is they are paying Russell Wilson to be on another team. That's what they think about Russell Wilson. I stole that from Moneyball. If you watched that movie before, but still,
Good pull.
that's exactly what the situation is. So look, I understand statistically wise, and this just I don't know if this shows you how good Russell Wilson is or just how bad the Steelers have been. This is statistically the best quarterback they've had since Ben Roethlisberger retired.
Yep. That's on the
So
Steelers. That's on the Steelers
yeah,
for that.
so that's why I'm like, well, I do feel a little bit bad for Kenny Pickett. I do feel he was a first round pick, so like I do feel a little bit bad for him, kid from Pittsburgh, you know. But my only issue with this is like, okay, have we gotten anything out of Kenny Pickett to a point where it's like, oh, we could see him as a solidified starter in this league? I don't think so. Now, maybe there's some issues with the Steelers. Maybe you rushed him a little bit. Maybe you put him out there when he wasn't exactly ready. You know, maybe his vet was Mitchell Trubisky. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I don't know what the situation would have been had things gone differently. But like you said, you're getting him from dirt cheap. That's basically what you get for the NFL version of dirt cheap is $1.2 million, but that's what you're getting him for. So I don't see it as a bad move for the Steelers at all. I think I think they're a better team with Russell Wilson with Russell Wilson as a starting quarterback. I'm just not gonna be all like, oh yeah, like they can make a run. You know, I'm not unless I see them win like a bunch of games like late in the year. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it as making any difference at all.
There's not. I really what I see is they're going from a 7-win team to a 9-win team, which when it comes to Pittsburgh really saves the whole idea of Mike Tomlin having his winning season streak continue. But that's about it. I mean, but the thing
Yeah.
was, there was also no move the Steelers could make, in my opinion, that made them contenders. If anything, the Steelers just have to find a way to stay as relevant as possible, and they're not going to do a blow up of the team. That's not something they do. So signing Russ, keeping some stability at quarterback for at least a year, and thing about Russ is he's got potential. He's always got potential to come out and show out and be that quarterback that he once was. But obviously, usually when you have to say something like that about a quarterback, they're not going to be as good as you want them to be. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, about just
I
over
did
200 yards. Pretty good.
I did want to ask you though, because I did
Yep.
see yesterday Patrick Queen signed with the Steelers.
Yes.
Now, I'm pretty sure he's an Oklahoma Sooner. I'm pretty sure he is.
He's an LSU Tiger.
Oh, he's an LSU Tiger.
He's an LSU Tiger.
I'm thinking of Canine.
Kenneth Murray to the Titans. That's the move
That's
I
who I'm
was
thinking of.
looking at. He can no
Because I
longer
was
wear
good.
9 because 9 is retired by the Titans, unfortunately.
Yes, I was gonna ask you what did you think about him signing with Steelers if that moved you at all? Because like at least for me, I
Yeah.
saw the signing and I just kind of like blank stared at it for a while because I was like, that doesn't like to me at least. I'm like, I don't think he's that great.
I like him
like
a lot. I mean,
I. I was one of those guys saying I thought Roquan Smith made him a lot better than what he is than what
I
I
will
think he
say, yeah,
is.
he did. I think he got a little either, to me, I think he got more overshadowed than anything in that Ravens defense. Obviously, he was not one of the better players. I mean, he was one of the good. He was a great player on the Ravens, but I think now that he's in a different position, a different system defensively, we're going to see him really either show whether he's got that star potential or whether he's just going to kind of regress a little bit because he's not in that Ravens defense anymore.
Mhm.
He's got all the talent in the world, especially when he was coming out of college, and he showed a lot in Baltimore. A lot they liked him down there, but it's going to be interesting. A lot of guys benefit from their systems, right? You look at the Niners. There's a whole thing of right.
Yeah,
These guys, we turned these guys into first round picks for us, but we don't know how good they would be. Fred Warner and Drake Greenlaw and all those guys. How successful they're going to be on other teams, and
yeah.
we're going to see that with Patrick Queen. I think he's going to be just fine. I like him a lot. He's a really good player, but we'll see. We'll see if he fits in with a steel curve with T.J. Watt. I think it's a great addition if he's going to be that guy, but it doesn't move me in terms of them being able to beat Cincinnati, being able to beat Baltimore consistently in terms of winning the division. So
Mhm.
Cleveland is just a dumpster fire. I'm not worried about them when it comes to Pittsburgh. But think about the AFC North too. You can see 3 playoff teams. I can see the Steelers can go out and make it again,
Yeah,
but we got to see if they can go out and do it. Now, Joel, one team that I know is going to benefit from a quarterback. I know it's going to get a lot better because they signed a quarterback. Those Atlanta Falcons picked up
fantastic move. It
old
was a
Kirk
fantastic move.
Cousins. We'll get into it. So, Kirk Cousins, obviously coming off of an Achilles tear last season for the Minnesota Vikings, and now he was a free agent. It was pretty much expected that he was going to leave. He was linked to Atlanta for weeks before this, It was kind of either Minnesota or Atlanta when it comes to Kirk Cousins, and Minnesota's done their fair share of losing to Atlanta. If I want to bring up that championship game again, where you just missed a field goal, and the Vikings. To me, I was thinking the Vikings need to kind of just blow it up, rebuild, and everything. So they lose Kirk Cousins and they sign Sam Darnold, which is interesting. But let's focus on the Atlanta side first. The Atlanta Falcons signed Kirk Cousins to a huge, huge contract, $180 million over the next 4 years. Kirk Cousins officially, in terms of just pure contracts, will have more career earnings than Tom Brady. Shout out to inflation. Inflation has done a great thing for the quarterback market in the National Football League, and Kirk Cousins is going to benefit from that. Kirk Cousins is now an Atlanta Falcon. He is a 4-year deal worth $180 million, and I find it interesting personally whether he, oh, my internet connection's unstable. Hold on. I'm just going to back off a minute. Saying mine's
I,
unstable?
I was gonna say, like, I think because like it got a little weird for you.
On my end? Okay, I'll just restart then. That's weird.
I didn't because I'm looking at mine. I'm like, mine's in the green. I don't know if that was mine or yours.
Intriguing. Huh.
We could just
Okay.
keep going though.
I'll just restart. I'll just restart the Kirk part.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's see what we can cook. Okay, that's weird. If it happens again, I'll switch to hotspot. We'll have to see. We'll have to look into that. Okay.
All right.
So moving on to a quarterback move that will actually benefit a team and maybe will skyrocket a team going forward. The Atlanta Falcons go out and picked up Kirk Cousins. Go out and picked up
Fantastic
is
move.
definitely a grammatically correct sentence. So they
A
get Kirk
great
Cousins
move.
to a $180 million deal over the next 4 years. Kirk Cousins obviously coming off of his Achilles tear last season. Tough move, tough blow for Minnesota. They had to ride it out with Nick Mullins. Shout out to Nick Mullins. He actually held his own quite a bit though. They go out and they sign Sam Darnold to replace Kirk Cousins, which sure, why not? Go get a quarterback. They'll probably draft one. And let's just focus on Atlanta though before we get to the Minnesota side of things. Losing Kirk Cousins, obviously they could not franchise tag him. And the interesting thing I saw was Kirk Cousins more career earnings after this contract than Tom Brady.
I
It's a
believe
true
it.
stat. It's a true stat because Kirk Cousins had that franchise tag situation in Washington where he robbed the Commanders, formerly the Washington football team that will not be named. And he just has been taking money, and playing well. Never won a division title, but he went out there, got his bag, got another contract. Whoever his agent is needs
Good
a
for him.
raise. Yeah, good for him. You get a quarterback coming off an Achilles tear on a 4-year deal with $180 million. That is a risk and a half, especially in today's game, especially with his age, especially everything, right? Where you need a guy to be mobile and move around. You go out and sign Kirk Cousins. I mean, I love his situation with Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. You say it's like the greatest. It's such a great move. I mean, Atlanta had to go get a quarterback, right? I would have rather they go out and get Justin Fields personally because I just think he fits their offense better. I think with Bijan, you need a guy who can move, who can be mobile, who can be athletic. Kirk Cousins obviously is just up there in age. When he was younger, I mean, he was never a super dual threat quarterback. He can move a little bit every now and then, but he's not running read options out here. He's 35, 36 years old. We'll see if it works out in Atlanta. I think they'll be pretty good, especially considering that division. But I am intrigued at the length of the contract, the money they gave him. It's going to be interesting to see how they run that offense with Raheem and all that. But Joel, you love the move.
Here's what I was thinking about when it came to the Atlanta Falcons, and I understand what you're trying to say about Justin Fields, because yeah, I would have liked to see Justin Fields go back home to Atlanta. Here's my thing, and I'm not looking at a transition from Desmond Ritter here. I'm not looking at a transition from Marcus Mariota here. I'm looking at a transition from your formerly franchise quarterback Matt Ryan. When I'm looking at Matt
Sure.
Ryan, this guy was a pure pocket passer. This guy was great at just spreading the ball out. This guy won you games. Kirk Cousins is that same type of a player. Goes out there and he can win you games. He's not gonna win the big games like in prime time that we meme about all the time, but like he can win you games. He can get you into the playoffs. That I think they're trying to rejuvenate that same success that they had with Matt Ryan. Go get a guy who's a very similar skill set to him. We've been trying to move out of him. Get a more mobile guy. Get a guy like Mariota. Get a guy like Heineke. Get a guy like Desmond Ritter. It hasn't really worked out. Now I don't think all those quarterbacks are like really great or anything like that, but they're all mobile guys that they're looking at, and they've had, what, 2, 3 years to look at them. So you're looking at them now, and it's like, yeah, I don't necessarily know if this was the right move to do. Kyle Pitts is not getting the ball as much. We got guys like Drake London, who I think are really good wide receivers that, we could get the ball to a lot more. Why don't we get, and we have a pretty okay offensive line. Let's get a guy who could just stay there and just pass the ball. A guy who could set screens for Bijan Robinson. Everyone benefits from this move, and we win some more games. It works out. I think this is a good long term investment for the Atlanta Falcons to go back to what they were good at. Just finding a guy that can win you games. That's what I think they should have done. I understand the need to, like, the game is changing. We want to get a guy who's more mobile. We want to get a guy who can run out. Sometimes just going back to your old ways, your old winning ways, it works out for you. So I like the move. I think it's very good. I think it's great for Kirk Cousins. And what do you got, like 100 mil guaranteed? Like, yeah, I mean,
Something like that, yeah.
come on. I think this might be his last. Well, this is gonna be his last big contract, I believe, in his career. So
Yeah.
why not end it somewhere where you could potentially, I don't know, make a run? So I think it works out for all sides.
It works out for them. I do agree. I think the Falcons are much better off, but I do also worry about this contract. He's 35 years old, turned 36 in August. I worry about this contract in the last 2 years of the deal because you're going to be paying a 38, 39-year-old quarterback a lot of money to play. Who knows how
You,
good Kirk Cousins is going to be
I was
after
gonna
this
say,
Achilles? I have no idea.
you think he's gonna play till he's 40?
I don't know. I don't know how healthy Kirk Cousins is going to stay. I know he's got kids. I know he probably wants to spend time with them at some point. Obviously, if you can still make your millions, I don't see Kirk Cousins as a guy that's going to end up. If he's not going to make this kind of money, he's probably going to end up retiring. I don't see him like having a Joe Flacco arc, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Now Kirk Cousins also, if you want to just be a pure hater, you can pull up 78 and 70 and 2. That's his career record. He's only 8 games over 500 in his entire career as a quarterback. So when it comes to winning games, he's done it, but he hasn't done it as much as a quarterback for a Super Bowl winning team would want you to do. I mean, his last playoff game, he loses to Daniel Jones. Joel, you know about him.
Oh
So,
Jesus.
I mean, what a game for you, right? But is Kirk Cousins going to be that guy in that division? Will they even win this division? Yeah, they got all that. They're on paper. They're really great offensively, and but then you look at Tampa Bay. What's Tampa Bay going to be able to do? With Baker and Mike Evans getting another year together with that team and that offense, they lose a bit on defense, but they'll figure some stuff out in the draft. They've always drafted well defensively. Trading Carlton Davis is a tough play, but you have to do it with the money. You lose Shaq, but it's going to be interesting to see the NFC South. The NFC South is going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to still beat up on the Panthers. They got a little bit better, but not by much.
I think that NFC South is the Atlanta Falcons division to lose at this
It is
point.
their division to lose just because you have the star power. Um, you just kind of have to assume because that team always felt a quarterback away. They always
Yeah.
felt a quarterback away.
It's
But
been like that for like what, 2, 3 years now, where you're
just
just
about,
like, dang, they got weapons, man. They
yeah,
got good guy. Like, if they just get a quarterback, like, oh my
right.
God, this could be a playoff team.
They also felt a coach away because Arthur Smith did not do anything correct in that organization. But
I
I
didn't
mean,
think he was that bad. Jesus.
this
He
team,
he had a bad rep. I
I'm a
didn't think he
B,
was that
I'm a Bijan owner, so I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Um,
bad.
I just have to say it. So we'll see how Atlanta does. But I mean, Joel, there's
Oh
been an
Jesus.
elephant. Yeah, you know, there's been an elephant in the room ever since I hit record on this podcast, on this episode. We all know, or if you don't know, then well, you're gonna know. Joel, my co-host here of Break Panel Sports, is a noted
Yeah.
New York Football Giant fan, and if you
Uh-huh.
followed free agency in the slightest over the past 2 days, you know that New York Football Giant fans are not having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Or well, they kind of are, but they're not. It's mixed feelings. It's mixed emotions. It's like they just went through a breakup, but they got a new girl. It's going well, but you really don't know because wow, I really got betrayed. It's a tough mental battle to be in right now for New York Football Giant fans, and it has to do with Saquon Barkley leaving. Right, he leaves, and it's okay to leave. Nobody had a problem with Saquon Barkley leaving. It's just about where he went. Joel, I'll let you take the floor since you have the firsthand experience of the pain of and the shame and the suffering and the trials that Saquon Barkley going to Philadelphia makes you go through. So I'll let you have the floor now.
I mean, he got you. That's basically what he got. He got you. I mean, okay. I did have a take about this on our TikTok. Make sure to check that out. Where I basically, I kind of gave a little bit of an unpopular opinion about this move. Where I was just like, man, I didn't really think he was gonna do it because the move, like, it was rumored for like what, 2 days? I want to say like 2, 3 days. Like we're
Yep.
saying like oh, Philadelphia, they're trending up, blah blah blah. I just kind of saw it. It was like, man, if he went to Philadelphia, that would be a move. I wouldn't have the balls to do a move like that, but wow, like that's something. And then it comes down to the Texans and the Eagles. And the whole time I'm just like, man, I hope he goes to the Texans. Man, I really hope he goes to the Texans. I would cheer for him all day, every day if he goes to the Texans. And then of course he goes to the Eagles. And I'm like, okay, I see a couple comments. I feel like people are a little bit confused about this whole situation. Okay, I feel like people are a little bit confused. So I look at it as, okay, if he was worried about the guaranteed money, okay, I could understand why he would want to leave and all that stuff, whatever. But I see a bunch of people in the comments saying, "Oh, the Giants didn't even make an offer. The Giants didn't even make an offer. What are you talking about? The Giants didn't even offer him anything this year. This year, they didn't offer him anything. You know why? Because last year they offered this man more money than what Derrick Henry was making, and he said no. He said, like, I'm pretty sure they offered this man like $14 million a year, and he said no because he wanted more guarantee or something like that. And the Giants are trying to say, listen, if you get hurt, like, we want to make sure we're okay. What are you talking about? You're gonna get your money if you're okay. The fact that you're not telling me that you're not okay with this tells me you think you're gonna get hurt again. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. What are you talking about? So when he asked again this year, is there anything that we could do as far as the contract goes? They're like, no, because you made it evident and clear that you don't want to stay here. So he takes it upon himself to be like, F you. I'm going to go to the division rival and make sure you guys lose 2 games every single year. That's what I think it is. If he says it's any different, he's a liar. Okay. Let's be real right there because, okay, yes, they did offer them. I understand that they offered him the most money. I understand they did that. So if he did it for that reason, okay, New York's still going to hate you, but whatever. But you cannot convince me that this man didn't go to Philadelphia because he felt some sort of bitterness towards the Giants. You can't convince me that he did it. 100% he did. He's
It's
trying.
yeah.
It's a torture method that he's trying to do. That's literally it. So I wasn't necessarily like mad about the move, really. I'm upset that the Knicks gave up RJ Barrett more than I'm upset about Saquon Barkley leaving. Like that's what I'm more upset about because I loved RJ Barrett so much. But when it comes to Saquon, how many good years are you exactly going to get out of him? Okay. I was watching a couple like Philadelphia content creators on TikTok or whatever. I wanted to see what they thought about it. I saw, believe it or not, there's some mixed reactions. A lot of people are happy as hell because they're like, "Oh my god, we got Saquon, whatever." Some people are like, "Wait, we signed him to that contract? Wait, we signed him to this? Wait, we're spending $12.5 million for Saquon Barkley? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Oh, I don't know. Like the running game wasn't an issue. Oh, this wasn't an issue, and now we're getting Saquon. Like, okay, if we become a full-on running offense, what's gonna happen with Devontae Smith, who's expecting money this next offseason? Is he gonna walk now because he's not getting the ball enough? And we already got a number one wide receiver who's complaining about not getting the ball enough. So like we should be focusing on passing more, and now we got Saquon Barkley. We're definitely gonna be running more. This guy's definitely gonna be a third down back for us. So now what do we do? So I can see both sides of it. I can understand why you'd be frustrated with him going there. I can understand why you're looking at it and saying, "Oh, I think this is a great move." Right now, for me, I'm just kind of looking at it as I hope he finds as little success as possible with Philadelphia. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I don't know. I'm a little bitter because, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, it's just like, well, if they offered him the most money, I get it.
They did. I mean, they went out. I think the Eagles and Saquon had a mutual desire for spite. And they went out and got it done. Again, everybody was thinking, oh, if he go to Houston, go to Houston, go to Houston. I do, I guess, at this point. Obviously, we can, we can bore you with the Brian Burns went to the Giants, great trade with all that. I think
That doesn't move me as much. I'm
it
gonna be
doesn't
real
move
with
you as
you.
much.
It doesn't
Yeah,
really move me.
yeah. So, are you a Tiki Barber fan, Joel? Are you a
Okay.
fan of
Here,
Tiki
okay.
Barber's comments on
I want to.
WFAN
I
1019?
do want to talk about this because this is what's frustrating me about this quote. So, not a lot of people may know this. Okay,
Right.
I actually listened to him say this live.
You heard it live?
'Cause
Okay, nice.
I
Yeah.
heard it live when I was driving. I think I was driving to like our local grocery store or something like that, and I
Yeah.
was listening to what he was saying. When I listened to it, I kid you not, at least for me, it was in one ear, out the other, because I thought he was joking. It sounded like a joke.
He said it was tongue in cheek. He said it was tongue in cheek.
Because here's the thing, like
Yeah.
it's on YouTube, it's on TikTok. Go look it up. Go look up the actual clip of him saying it. At least for me, I'm like, I don't I didn't see that as an insult. I just thought he was playing around. I just thought he was joking. And
Yeah.
then I think what Saquon Barkley saw was that written down on paper on either Bleacher Report or Twitter or whatever. And then that's when he decided to make the comment that he made. And Tiki Barber responded to that on WFAN saying like, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what's wrong because even I was like, yeah, I don't think you said anything crazy. I thought he was joking. Like, that's
I
what
mean,
I thought.
that's just also what else is he supposed to say, right? What else is Tiki Barber supposed to go out and say in that
Like,
moment?
"Oh, good for you."
He's on FAN, which is built off of saying things of that nature, really things that are more
Yeah.
outlandish. This is the one FAN clip that goes viral because it's Saquon. It's interesting. Now, I think Tiki Barber probably could have approached it all in a better way. I think he could have said, I'm disgusted. I don't know. Tiki Barber is not going to go out there and lie to you and say, oh man, I'm really happy for no. He's a giant. At this point, he's a giant fan. He's been
Yeah.
retired for 17 years, right? Yeah, Joel, he's dead to you at this point. You're not going to root
Eh,
for him. I did hear
okay,
him
man.
clarify everything the next day. It's like, yeah, I mean, what else is he's not backing down from it, right? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as a Giant fan, I'm not going to root for him. You're not going to. So yeah, I also my favorite thing about those clips was Evan Roberts and his dual colored beard.
Oh, yeah, he wore the yeah, he does that sometimes. Yeah.
Well, no, he's been. They had a bet. It was. He said he was not going to shave his beard until Pete Alonso signed a contract with the New York Mets. And then he realized, wow, that's not going to happen. So the price for him to shave his beard was to color his beard every day for 3 weeks, and then he's in the middle of week 2, right? So after week 3, he has to shave half the beard and then walk around for a week with half the beard.
Oh my
That is why
god.
he had the blue and red beard. I do listen on my morning drive. I do listen every now and then. I tune in. So I heard the Evan Roberts beard story. The IG comments of the fan do not like it. Um, I think it's funny because I don't have to see it. You know. So yeah, that's why in the biggest clip of that station in quite some time, it
Yeah.
is, and you're just like, wow, look at what Tiki Barber said. Wait, why does that guy have two colors in his face? What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The way they described it was it's like it was so New York City. You
Yeah,
see
because
some weird.
they got some weird segments on a lot of like New
No, they
York
do.
shows and stuff.
It's corny. Also, like you're just every time you walk down the street in New York, something super serious happened. They're right next to it. There's some absolutely absurd things that are going down that you just cannot
Yeah.
ignore.
You're
But you
living
don't
like
even
Looney Tunes or something.
right. So it's interesting. But hey, man, Tiki Barber's gonna be Tiki Barber. Bad Tiki showed up. It's okay though.
So I don't know if you saw this, but I just saw a rumor. I got a notification about something, and I'm kind of fuming at the ears right now, and you're gonna understand why. So I just saw it's a rumor. It's not like breaking news or nothing like that, but there's a rumor going around that people around the league believe that the Giants are going to take JJ McCarthy at the sixth overall pick. I'm telling you right now,
No
if
way.
JJ, it's a rumor, but if
It's a rumor.
JJ McCarthy If he gets drafted with the 6th overall pick by the New York Giants, I am effing done with this organization. I am telling you right now, I hope it's not true, but if that is true, you don't understand. I'm going to lose my mind if JD McCarthy is the pick at 6. Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I have
What are
no
your thoughts?
words.
What are your thoughts on that?
So
No, that is crazy.
I have no words for that rumor. Except, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Because
You watch
that
more college ball than I do, so what do you think about JJ McCarthy?
I'm more shocked that I've heard this swirled around in the rumor mill for some time now. And with what do you call him? Jim Harbaugh. Oh yeah, that guy, the cheater. Jim Harbaugh saying
Oh
he's the best
no.
quarterback in the class.
Oh no.
And it was clearly this Kool-Aid that we were being served on a silver platter. And you really were not encouraged to take it. If the
Oh
Giants
no.
drink the Kool-Aid on J.J. McCarthy at number 6 overall, Joel,
Oh no.
your franchise is set back for another decade.
There's no way.
Another decade, because what you
I
should
just
be
got I
doing
just got the same alert twice. Oh my god.
twice. I need to hop on Twitter or X or whatever.
I mean, I follow a bunch of Giants fans accounts, so I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. But like,
If
oh,
Joel, as someone who watched a good amount of Big Ten football, Michigan football, he can make plays. He can move a little bit. He didn't do anything.
that
He didn't. He really didn't do much.
the only
Um,
the only thing that I've seen about because I saw who was it? Lewis Reddick, I believe it was. Like when like NFL Network was off air, he was talking to his fellow broadcasters and he was
yeah,
telling them like, oh, like this was at the combine. He was like, oh, like I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've heard the rumors that like people believe that JJ McCarthy is gonna go in the top 5.
yeah.
And
People believe that.
and a bunch of people were like, "You know what? I could see it. You know what? He knows how to win, huh? You know what? I don't blame him. It's a good move." And the Giants have 6, and I'm like, "There's no way you're thinking about drafting this guy. There's no way you're thinking about drafting JJ McCarthy. That's the savior? McCarthy?"
J.J. McCarthy.
I love Michigan. I love Michigan. I thought that it was fantastic when they won last year. But I saw this and I'm like, there's there's just no way. There's just no way that that's the guy you want as your franchise starting quarterback
No,
over Daniel Jones.
he can rip the ball, but if you look at what he did in Michigan, I mean, it's mostly just handing the ball off to Blake Corum. He's one of the best, handoffers in college football. I can say that pretty confidently. I can, well, he's gonna have Saquon Barkley to hand the ball. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry about that.
No, he'll have Devin Singletary.
Big old Devin Singletary. What a guy. What a guy. Receiving back. I mean, hey, he's gonna fit. He'll be
But
fine.
I just had to bring that up real quick because I saw that. I'm like, there's no way that's true.
If you
I'm
draft
like,
JJ McCarthy, you're cooked. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, I can see him maybe figuring something out and playing all right for the New York Football Giants. He's just not a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. I do find it interesting though that it seems that a lot of people, even media and some coaches as well, are sitting here and saying JJ McCarthy is, like you said, top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback. He's this guy. And then there's this other crowd that I guess I find myself in saying, this guy's not even a second round pick. This guy's not even that good at football. So I have absolutely no idea how to grade this guy anymore. I guess I got to go watch more film. I guess I missed something in his tape when I'm watching Michigan games. Maybe I missed something that I'm not seeing. I'm seeing a decent, accurate thrower of the football that can move around a little bit. In a good system, he'd probably succeed, but the Giants are not a good system. So I don't know. I really can't tell you, Joel. But I think if you draft him at 6, when there's talent on the board, when you have needs, besides quarterback, you have Drew Lock now, I guess. That's fine. Joel, you cannot draft JJ McCarthy at 6 overall. You can't do it.
I'm gonna lose my mind if they
You
draft
can't
him at
do it.
6.
You just can't do it. It's not, no. If you can make a call to Joe Shane right now, don't do it. Don't do it. Draft him in the 2nd round. He'll be there. He will be there. Okay, he'll be there. This is Daniel Jones all over again.
I'm gonna
The only
record my
person,
on April
yeah,
25th. On April 25th, I'm gonna record my reaction
yeah,
to the sixth overall pick. Because if it's just like any, like Roma Dunze or whatever, I'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool. If it's JJ McCarthy, I'm gonna
yeah,
lose my mind.
because this is Daniel Jones all over again. In this scenario, the only people who value him this high is you. Is you. That's it.
That's so
Repeat the
funny.
cycle of drafting, of reaching for a quarterback that you think is your guy. Fine, do it. Make history repeat itself again so soon after. Why not? Why not? Or Joel, you can make a trade for Justin Fields.
Yeah,
The As you said, the biggest loser of NFL free agency is Justin
it's
Fields.
Justin Fields.
Because you look at all these quarterback moves, we sent him. We were thinking, oh, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, everywhere. Where's he gonna go? That spot's locked up. That spot's locked up. That spot's locked up. And
I feel so bad for him, man, because here's the thing. Right now, I feel like well, he's gonna get traded. Okay, it's gonna happen. But I feel like no matter where he goes, he's gonna be the backup. I don't think
yeah, at this point,
yeah, he's not gonna be the starter wherever he goes. That's why I'm like, oh geez, like this is just like not so we've talked about this before
yeah,
that I made the prediction that he's gonna go to the Minnesota Vikings.
we did. And I was very upset about that prediction at that point in time because I was thinking, wow, of all the places you could trade him, why in the division?
And now
And now it's
it
it's a possible destination, Joel.
it's a
It's a
possible
possible destination.
destination. It's a possible so my top three, and I've
Yep.
mentioned it, I believe I mentioned it. I don't know if I did, but my top three places for him to go to were the Minnesota Vikings,
Yep.
the New York Giants,
Yep.
and the Las Vegas Raiders. Those three teams I feel like all benefit, and I feel like Justin Fields benefits if he goes there. For obvious reasons. You look at their quarterback situations, you look at some of their scheme plays, you look at all this stuff. Like I feel like Justin Fields would fit on all those teams. Now here's the problem, right? Minnesota just signed Sam Darnold to a $10 million deal.
It's a lot
So
of money.
I feel like he's at least going to be competing for a starting gig. At the very least, he's going to be competing for a starting gig, whether they draft somebody or not. Because they got a pretty high pick. They got like 11, I want to say. So
Yeah.
I think they could get a quarterback there.
You
So
can get Penix. You can get hopefully JJ McCarthy even
I, I don't know,
if he's
but
around. Bo Nix.
they could get a quarterback, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You look at Las Vegas; they had the pick right before Minnesota. I believe they have 12 or something like that. And also, they just signed Gardner Minshew to a 2-year deal worth $25 million. He almost took the Colts to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So he's no scrub. He's probably going to be competing for a starting gig as well. And you look at the New York Giants, the price for Justin Fields was around like a second round pick or something like that. And then
Yep.
you're like, oh, the Giants have the assets. They just used that in a trade for Brian Burns. So now it's like, okay, all top three teams are probably gone. So where's he gonna go now? I don't know
What's
anymore.
left?
What's
Realistically,
Seattle? I don't know.
they
Like,
got Geno locked up. Tampa's
yeah,
got
Geno's
Baker
locked.
locked up. The
Because even
Saints? Do they like Derek Carr? You're paying him so much money. You're in cap
do
hell
they got the money to? Well, here's the other
because you
thing
have to
too.
resign him if you're going to trade
Yeah,
for him.
because wherever he goes to, he's probably not going to be there for longer than a year.
Right.
Do you want to give up a second round pick to get 1 year of Justin Fields being a backup? No.
I think what all the teams have basically collectively said is, hey, we don't trust this situation enough to the point where we're willing to trade for this guy and have to end up after the year paying him a 5-year deal because that's what he's going to ask for if he plays well.
Yeah.
He's a young quarterback. It's not like it's Baker or Geno or any of that situation. He's a young quarterback that was a first round draft pick who was playing well in Chicago. If he plays well again and the potential that he has, he's going to want to be paid based on that potential. And teams don't want to pay him that money. So why would I sign up to do it now instead of next year when I can sign him for probably
I,
a cheaper deal?
one of the things that I will say like frustrates a lot of people, and I get it, it frustrates me too. When you look at it at a sheer talent perspective, there is no way you can convince me that there are 32 guys better than Justin Fields in this league.
All the
The-
guys that
it-
you said that just got signed. I mean, we said Drew Lock. I mean, Justin Fields is miles
Wait,
better
yeah.
than Sam Darnold. He's miles better than. I mean, Gardner Minshew was a Pro Bowler. Don't discount that. But Justin Fields is much more talent than Gardner Minshew. I think that's a fair thing to say. And again, clearly you saw the end of the year in Chicago after he got healthy. They were winning a bunch of games. I mean, they were still in playoff contention for a lot longer than anybody thought they were going to be. Sure, it
Mhm.
wasn't super realistic, but they were still in it until really the very end. And it was because of Justin Fields and how he played. He had a rough first half of the year, but again, this is a young quarterback. And here's my other thing, right? I think a lot of us were thinking, oh, well, if they keep Justin Fields, that means they're probably going to trade the first overall pick, right? But at this moment in time, Joel, what I'm trying to understand is who would trade for the first overall pick? Who's doing that?
I
Besides
don't.
the teams at 2 and 3, which you're not getting as much capital as you'd want to get for the number one overall pick. So you might as
It
well
could.
take your guy.
It could just be based on the information that I have seen. So, like, from the traction that I'm looking at, the only team that I have seen that has even talked about moving up in the draft were the New York Giants.
Right.
But that was to the top 3. They never said they were trading for the number 1 pick or nothing like that. They just wanna trade up to the top 3. But even if you were to do that, what assets are you giving up? Like, you need your picks. You're not in no
Right.
buy-in mode now. You need your picks. So they're probably not gonna. I think they're gonna stay at 6. And then you look at some of these other teams. I'm like, okay, what about Las Vegas? I think you should keep your picks. Denver, you definitely should keep your picks. Like New Orleans, you should definitely keep your. And also, looking at it from Chicago's perspective, do you really want to move from the number 1 pick to outside the top 10? No, you want to stay within that top 10 range. But do you see New England trading up? No. Do you see Washington trading? I don't think so. Like there's no team within the top 10 that I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense for them to trade up to number 1. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. So you're stuck with that number 1 pick. But I
Right.
don't think necessarily you could be stuck with Justin Fields if you just lower the price.
But I mean, what is that price at this point, right? Because
It's
if
not a second. You're not. I don't think you're getting. If he goes for a second round pick, I'm literally gonna be like, why wasn't he traded a
right,
month ago?
I'm also looking at. I know we're switching positions here, but I'm seeing Joe Mixon go for a seventh round pick. We
Yeah,
know Joe Mixon is not a seventh round pick. We know he's not. But the problem was, right,
his age.
uh, not even that. It's just what teams are willing to take on him, are willing to give up capital for him, what is likely a little rental at that point. Teams don't like rentals in the NFL. They love it in the NBA, but the
Like
NFL is not a rental league,
if I was a
especially for
team
quarterbacks.
If I was a team like the Vikings, the Raiders, the teams I mentioned, right? If I'm a team like that and I genuinely want to trade for Justin Fields, but I don't know, I can't for sure tell if he's going to resign with me long term, and I don't know if I'm going to have the money for it,
Right.
I'd give him I'd give like a 5th round pick, maybe
And
a 4th.
it's really the same scenario that the Chicago Bears are in. And they have him. It's would you rather take Justin now, not knowing how good he's going to be? Or would you rather take one of I mean a quarterback in a loaded class
I would
and
have traded him
reset
a
your
month ago.
contract? You reset your contract situation with the quarterback, which is huge. It's look at what Green Bay is doing in free agency, who they've been able to sign. It's because
Yeah.
Jordan Love is on a rookie deal. He's not getting paid $40 million to play football. They're getting these players now before they have to re-sign Jordan Love. And if you're Denver, right, you trade for Justin Fields, you got to pay him the year after. Or you can draft Bo Nix, or you can draft Michael Penix and have 4 years of building a team because you need to build a team. There's no team left, at least, that you take Justin Fields, you can win a Super Bowl that year. One, because again, no team is built like that. Two, Justin Fields isn't that good.
Yeah,
He's
he's not
good, but
that
he's not
good.
that good. I can see a team. I know what I don't like as well, and I'm not huge on, and just because I don't think it has any weight to it, is the idea of what if he converts and plays like receiver or something, and plays in that kind of role.
They've been saying that about Lamar since he was drafted.
Yeah, about any quarterback like him, if you know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
they just kind of people always just do. Oh, what if he plays receiver? What if he becomes Terrell Pryor and Braxton Miller? Justin Fields is a quarterback. He is very quarterbacky. Okay,
Yeah.
he is really good at playing that position. He's going to play that position because he can play that position. If you're going to be is good enough to be a backup, you can be good enough to be a starter a lot of the times. Ship him off to the Jets. Let the Jets handle him. I think the big thing here, if Justin wants to have a role, you gotta be willing to take, you know, alleviate the pressure off of teams to sign you to a long term deal.
You know, it's weird.
It just has to.
I don't think I've ever thought about the Jets as like a potential destination.
They need somebody, and they're not going to draft one in the first round.
They got a Tyrod Taylor if that moves you at all.
No, not even
that
close.
that
Sorry,
moves you at all.
sorry, Mister Taylor, but you are what you are.
Is Zach
You are
Wilson still
what
in a
you are.
contract?
Technically, but he's out of there. He's out of there.
Yeah, yeah, he's got to be out of there.
He's out of there. So yeah, I don't. I can see a team like that, right, letting him sit for a bit because I think it's clear to all of us that Justin needs a little bit more development. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, I think he does. I think because I saw some clips. Like again, this was early in the year because early in the year was just bad for Justin Fields.
Yeah,
I saw a couple clips where like Cole Kmet was wide open on like a far slant, and this man just like did not even look towards his direction and threw it
right.
completely into triple coverage. Like it, like
I did see that. Yeah,
there's multiple plays of him doing this multiple times a game, and I'm just like, wow, he's not that good. Wow, he's
right.
really not. And then like the Washington game happens where like they put up 40 or something like that, and DJ Moore has like one of the best games he's ever had. And
Yeah,
then you're
prime
like,
time.
oh, but hold on a second, like this is something here. There's a little spark brewing, and it's like, man, I feel like what we saw there, we saw a couple of times, and it's like those flashes of him are like top 10 quarterbackish plays.
Yeah,
That's why I'm like, I don't want to give him up, but man, I we can't just get rid of Caleb Williams here.
no,
A guy who they're comparing to the next Patrick Mahomes. A guy, put a gold jacket on him. This guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He hasn't even played a game in the NFL yet. This guy's gonna be one of the best to ever do it. Like, you
I
can't just
agree.
give that up. You can't just give that up.
You
You
can't.
can't give it up. You can't
Can't
do
do
it.
it.
So Justin Fields, if you listen, I'm telling you right now, at this point, my number one goal. Look, we're gonna have to move past it, okay? Yes, you probably could have traded him for a second round pick like 2 months ago if you would have pulled the trigger when you should have. You waited too long. Now guys are getting their quarterbacks. I'm saying, you know what? Just put it out there. I'm sure there are teams that are making some sort of an offer.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are teams that are making some sort of an offer. If a team's offering like a fifth round pick, do it. Just do it. A
take
fourth
it.
round, do it. Like at this point, your only goal should be to get Justin Fields the hell out of Chicago as
Yeah,
quickly as you can.
because also if I'm Caleb Williams, do I want the drama that is going to arise because there's a quarterback that's competing for my spot?
Also, look at Mac Jones. He got traded to Jacksonville. He's
Yeah,
not going to start there.
no, he's
Trevor
backup.
Lawrence is the guy there, but he's going to be a backup. He's going to try to learn a little bit. He's going to want to sit back and just see what he can do. Even though that's weird that Trevor Lawrence is the vet, even like they're the
Yeah,
same draft class. That's kind
same
of
draft
weird.
class. Yeah, it's fine.
But Justin Fields, yeah, I agree. Like trade him to a team like Philadelphia. Trade him to a
Yeah,
team like the Jets. I don't know. Trade him somewhere where he could be the backup. He could sit down. He could relax. He could just watch the game unfold. And then next year, maybe a Sam Darnold situation happens, and teams say, you know what? I think we could probably use him and to compete in some sort of starting role. I think that's the best. That's the best course of action that can
yeah.
happen to Justin Fields at this point.
And he's still very young, so he can still get that big
How old is
contract.
he?
He's probably the same age as Daniel Jones, I'd imagine. I gotta
I
go
think he's
hit
like
the Googles.
25 or something.
Yeah, Justin Fields' age. Shout out to the great device that is Google. He just turned 25.
Oh, he just okay, cool. Yeah,
So
on the
if
dot.
he so okay, next okay, he plays another year, it's 26, 27, whatever team says, "Oh wow, we really like Justin Fields." Everybody was wrong about him. Okay, you're 27, you get a 5-year deal. I mean, look at what Kirk Cousins was around a similar age when he was getting his money. Look how much money he's made.
Yeah,
So for Justin Fields, he might. I think he does. I think he has to take that role of being a backup and just kind of learning under a quarterback. And also with how many quarterback injuries there have been, a lot of the time these backups are playing,
yeah.
whether it's for a game or two, or whether it's for half the season.
Tyson
So
Bagent.
Tyson Bagent played a couple games. Looked he definitely looked.
Yeah, he looks.
He had one good game. He had one good game. So I just think Justin Fields needs to find that role. I like the Philadelphia option. I mean, if he can play kind of that Marcus Mariota role a little bit too, he made some contributions for the team last year. Um, I would look at the Jets. I would look at Denver. I don't know what Denver is going to be able to do, but I think the last thing Denver wants to do after the Russell Wilson situation is trade for a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
know
think
about them.
Denver has to draft a quarterback. That's what they gotta do.
They have to just reset. You got to reset
Go
everything.
Knicks, baby.
Oh, that's just ugly and disgusting, but it's funny. Shout out to Bo Nix, though. I think he's going to be all right. So, Joel, anything else you have to add about whether it's Justin Fields? Any final thoughts about Saquon Barkley or any other free agents you got to go? I like the Derrick Henry signing. But I don't know. I really
Derrick
like
Henry
that.
was a cool signing. I like that a lot. I mean, some kind of confused me. Like I saw Gabe Davis got a bit of a bag
He
from
did, yeah. It just
Jacksonville.
feels like the Christian
That
Kirk deal. The Jaguars have been collecting wide receiver twos like
yeah, they
Pokemon cards.
I don't know what they're doing. That move was a little weird.
Austin
I saw
Eckler did not make a lot of money.
dude, I made this joke. I don't know if you saw the video, but yeah, oh my god, he's going to Washington. Get it? Because the man is washed.
He's
Like
washed.
he's wa-
That's where washed players go.
that's where you go. You go to Washington.
Washington.
Um, I like Daniil Hunter to the Texans. I
I
like
didn't.
that move.
I hated
You
it.
know, you hate that move. Oh, a division rival.
Yeah,
You go to a division.
yeah. Well, he was. So I saw some posts. Oh, he's rumored to the Colts,
Okay, so
and then he signed with the Texans.
maybe this is just me only because like I'm a fantasy owner of him,
Yeah,
but I did like Zach Moss going to the Bengals.
I did too. I also
I
found it
like that move.
absolutely stupid that the Cowboys said that $4 million was too much for Zach Moss.
So I don't know if you saw this, but I saw this morning a tweet came out from Ian Rappaport that said that AJ Dillon is currently deciding like his options right now are the Giants, the Colts, and the Cowboys.
So he's a free agent, right? So,
Yeah, he's a free
oh
agent.
man,
The
yeah,
Giants, the
he's
Colts, and the Cowboys are the three teams that he's looking at. Me personally, I don't know if you feel this way. I would love to see this man go to the Cowboys. I want to
that'll
see
be
him go to the
funny.
I want to see him go to the Cowboys so bad. At their divisional rival, I don't care.
They
I'm a
need him
fantasy
back.
owner of him. I'm a fantasy like
You
I
are.
know he'll get reps if he goes to the Cowboys. I want him to go to the Cowboys so badly.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, man. I think. I mean, he didn't show a ton in Green Bay, but just out of pure build, everything he's got. Watch if you haven't.
Quadzilla.
Quads, if you haven't, watch his Boston College tape. You'll think he's a Hall of Famer. But I
You're
think
like, oh my God.
AJ Dillon can ball. AJ Dillon can ball. I know. I just know that I'm going to be picking Baltimore on Madden every time next year, and I will
Oh,
not be running
come on.
triple option
RPO
with Derrick
Lamar
Henry.
and Derrick Henry.
That's just dumb. That's just dumb.
Unstoppable.
It's ridiculous. And now
They
Baltimore.
need to win the Super Bowl. They need
They
to win
have
the
to.
dang Super Bowl.
All they got to do is just draft another receiver. Just get another good receiver in the building.
And then you're
That's
good.
really it. Yeah, do that. Get that done. Nobody else is popping in my brain. I love the Colts bringing everybody back. Kenny
Oh yeah,
Moore,
the Colts brought everyone back. Yeah.
Kenny Moore, $10 million a year, $30 million. Grover Stewart coming back. You know everybody.
I didn't
Michael
really
Pittman.
look at a lot of like re-signings, things like that. Because once someone re-signs with a team, I'm like, okay, so nothing's changed. Okay,
Nothing.
so
No.
I'm trying to think. Christian Wilkins got a bag from the Raiders.
Yeah, just like Robert Hunt did as well. Which
Robert,
was
oh that no,
That's a good
okay.
move. He's a dog.
Honestly,
No, he's good.
in
A lot
all
of people are like,
fairness,
"Who is
yeah,
this guy?" No, he deserves. I don't know about
yeah.
$100 million, but he deserved that back. He deserved a
In
couple.
all fairness, like I looked at him and I was like, dang, you know what? Go get protection for your quarterback. Yeah, wait, it makes sense.
Yeah, why not? You have
But yeah, other than that, there wasn't really that many other moves that I could think of off the top of my head that like really like intrigued me like crazy.
I would say DeAndre Swift to the Bears kind of got me thinking a bit because
I
well,
didn't care about that really.
mainly because of their young core. They had Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert. Really, they were going to build around that, but they go out and get Swift. I don't know.
They were also in contention to get Saquon Barkley. And then that
They
they
were.
felt that fell through once DeAndre Swift got there. But it was like, dang, like are they really trying to like upgrade this running game like
Yeah.
big time? Wow.
You know who's getting paid more than Saquon Barkley?
Who?
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney
So
got $39 million
he's go to the Falcons. Yeah.
to Atlanta. So to me, that just
Another one of
shows
my
you
guys. He got signed. That's cool.
how messed up the running back market is. It's just I
Well,
just don't understand it.
I will say though, outside of Drake London, the Falcons had no wide receivers. They
Not really.
like those guys sucked. I looked at all of them. I was like, oh my god, like who are? I don't even know who some of these guys are.
They got to go out and make some moves and get some more and then figure it out. I don't know. There's still a lot left in free agency. I'm sure we're going to be talking
Oh
about it as
yeah,
the situations arise. I mean, when you looked at who's left, There are so many good players that are just
Yeah.
left out there. I mean, I'm just looking at the list. I mean, there's just so many. I'm not. There's too many to say. And who knows if the Chiefs will trade L'Jarius Sneed on the franchise tag? We're just throwing it out there.
That's still a possibility. That's right.
So yeah,
Nothing's
Indy, make a
happened
phone
there.
call. Make a phone call, Ballard. Make a phone call. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to get him in the horseshoe, huh? We got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. I think the Chiefs should hold him personally,
Yeah.
but yeah. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes restructuring his contract, pulling a Brady arc.
Oh yeah. You never know.
Anyway, yeah. So if you missed any of that, I guess we just recapped it for you. Joel, welcome back to Break Panel Sports.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Awesome.
It's been great. It's been a great one. Joel, any final thoughts?
Um. Oh, I will say, I don't know if you made it this far in the video, but
Yeah.
probably by the time this gets recorded, I'm going to be in Atlantic City
Yup.
because I'm going to be a part of the media production, I guess you could say, for the MAAC tournament, both for the men's and the women's. Um,
Shout out to
I'm
Mac.
not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I'll be real with you. I don't really know
Yep.
exactly what I'm gonna be doing. All I know is they wanted me in the Broadway Hall, and I'm gonna try to record a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, I know I'm gonna be there for the Siena and Mount St. Mary's game.
Nice.
That's the women's game. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna be there for that. Um, Later that night is Ryder and St. Peter's. I want to be there for that game so badly.
It's big
I
time.
don't I don't know if I'm gonna be there that late, but if I am,
Stick
I'm
around,
definitely gonna be.
Joel. Stick
I want
around. 2
I
a.m.
that's the game I want to stay there too.
Yeah, that's a big game. That's gonna be a lot of Ryder is a very interesting team this year. Shout out to the Mac, the other Mac, I guess if you want to call it that.
But
It's a really fun tournament, Joel. It's gonna be awesome. You're down there, so
but
congrats
yeah,
on
I'm
getting
gonna
down
I'm
there.
gonna be down there for about 2 days.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. I might take some photos or put some content out there. You might see something on the Twitter or
yeah.
whatever that I'll be there.
You're gonna be live tweeting the Siena women's game, Joel. How
I'll
about that?
try. I'll try.
Give me some live tweets, get some video, do what you can do. You
Yeah,
know, it's cool stuff. So enjoy it down there. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and don't lose too much money at the casino if you end up there too.
I'm gonna try not to.
No, you won't. No,
I'm
you won't
gonna
be
get
down there.
overwhelmed.
You're gonna be locked into ball. So Joel, you said you're going down. Are you going down? Well, we're recording this episode on Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. You're going down
What
on
time
what
is it
day?
right now? It's 11, right?
11:21 a.m.
I'm leaving in about 5 hours.
Okay, so I will see if I can get this up on Wednesday, March 13th,
Okay.
as in today.
Yeah. All
Um,
right.
yeah. So shout out to Joel getting in there for the Mac. They let our guy in. They
Yeah,
let our
they
guy
let
in.
me in. Yeah.
Here you go. So
I
yeah,
I
stay
got
tuned
like
for
a
that.
whole I got like a whole official email from like ESPN and everything. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, like this is like official. This is
It's
kind of
real
cool.
stuff, man. Because they're on the broadcast. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, Joel. So enjoy it down there for sure.
Thank you.
But
I'll be sure to let you guys, just try to give you a little scoop or something. I'll try to make something. I don't know. We'll see what
keep us
happens.
tuned in. I know you'll figure something out. You'll figure something out. Um, you know what? Maybe we'll talk some Mac one of these days. How about that?
Who knows? Maybe.
All right, Joel. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening to this episode on this morning, evening, afternoon, however you end up listening to this show. It's always a pleasure to come on. It's great to be back, and
Great to
we
be
will
back.
see you another time. Really appreciate it.
Later.
There you go.